Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and if this is posted the day I hope I do, happy April Fool's Day. No Easter is around at this time, but I wanted to review this film, maybe in a more in-depth manner, who knows, since I have my unlimited time back, which is cool. But yeah, it's the 1986 film April Fool's Day. Why not April Fools? Which, first off, I gotta say, this DVD cover sucks dick. I mean, why does this DVD cover look like someone took their Wayne out and came over the cover? Just cum coated. I don't need a cum coated DVD cover. Okay, cum coated over a fucking noose and a knife and Amy Steele. That's not my kind of thing. Piss poor DVD cover. No special features. And you have a deleted scene that's not on the DVD, but it's on the back of the fucking case. There's no features, but this is from a deleted scene. I don't fucking understand why. Fucking Paramount, pair of pricks. And right off the bat, I hope that Shout Factory, Stream Factory gets a hold of this film. I really do. At least we have a good DVD of My Bloody Valentine, but I would love a good DVD Blu-ray of April Fool's Day. I think this deserves features. Again, I really do hope that Stream Factory, Shout Factory gets a hold of this. Now, I think I reviewed this film before, and I have reviewed the remake, which I'm not watching this film again, that film again. The link down below will basically point you to my rant on that piece of shit remake. But this film's from 1986. By that time, 1986 slasher films were really. There's just been so many. That's just the problem. There were so many slasher films. So this came out, and it says here it cost $5 million and made about $12 million, which isn't bad. But at the other end of the spectrum, there's this fucking documentary that I have called "Going to Pieces," and they're talking about, oh yeah, it was going okay and so until April Fool's Day came, and then slasher films got killed, and this killed and hurt the slasher film genre. And there's some guy on there, granted it's his opinion, but it's like, oh yeah, April Fool's Day, man, I can't believe you. I'm like, really? Bullshit. You know what killed it? Having 3, 4, 5 slasher films a week. That's what killed it. For those wondering, this gets a 5.9 on IMDb, so it's higher than a lot of those slasher films, but I still think it deserves even higher than that. I will say right off the bat, this is one of my favorite slasher films of all time. And I know that sounds weird, which I'll get to, but before I get into that, the guy who directed this was Fred Walton, and on there it was like they were trying to pressure the guy to apologize for this movie, and if somehow this video gets to Fred Walton, dude, you have no reason to apologize for this. This is a damn good film, and I'm going to explain in depth as to why. This is the same guy who directed the original When a Stranger Calls. That's a good movie. This is a good movie. I think you did a great job, Fred Walton. You should be proud of this film. Uh, I really do hope one day this gets a special edition treatment, because I would love to hear interviews with the cast, with the director. This film gets the respect it deserves, not a shitty cover. The hell? The original is much better, which it had that, and then it had all her friends, all the friends on the at the table. Like, I don't know why they changed this cover. Does this make you go, "Wow, I want to buy that"? Oh, wow, it looks like someone came on a DVD cover. I want to buy that now. A cum-coated knife. All right, and then a noose in the middle of nowhere. Yay! Looks like a $5 movie. I'm talking about the budget, but before I get into that, the cast I want to give a special mention to, because you have Deborah Foreman as Muffy, who's the hostess. Basically, keep saying that. Long story short, a group of friends are invited to this island where their friend Muffy is going to have this party. And of course, it's around April Fools. Some people are going. A lot of her friends are mainly from college and so on and so forth. They go to this island, and then things start going weird. They get taken out one by one. And this film is more of a mystery. I think that's the thing. It's a mystery, like people have described it as Agatha Christie, sort of 10 Little Indians, wrapped around the coding of a slasher film. And Deborah Foreman, who was in Waxwork, she was in a film called Destroyer. She is the hostess. You have a star Amy Steele, who I really enjoy from Friday the 13th Part 2. I think Amy Steele is a very underrated actress. She'd definitely be one of my favorite actresses. I love Amy Steele. I think she's great. I think she's very underrated. You also have Griffin O'Neill as character Skip, who said at the beginning that he's the cousin of our hostess, Muffy. You have Thomas F. Wilson, Biff from Back to the Future. He's in the film. You have Clayton Rohner, who he was also in Destroyer. He's been in this TV show called Good versus Evil or G versus E. He was Tom Sizemore's partner in The Relic. Clayton Rohner's, I liked him as an actor. You have Ken Olandt as Amy Steele's boyfriend. Ken Olandt, I had the name on the tip of my tongue of what he was in. He was on this TV show called Super Force. Yeah, that's right. He was in Leprechaun. He was like, yeah, Jennifer Aniston, and then Ken Olandt was the other main character of Leprechaun. Sort of boyfriend, or sort of would become the boyfriend of Jennifer Aniston in that movie, Leprechaun. He was also in Summer Rental. He plays the character Rob, Amy Steele's boyfriend. And you also have Deborah Goodrich as Nikki, sort of a horny little girl. You have Leah Pinsent as Nan, who's sort of a shy type of girl, very sophisticated. You have this guy, Jay Baker, as Harvey. Southern guy. That I mentioned, Griffin O'Neill, he's the character Skip. Talented cast, I will say. A very talented cast, very likable cast. You really care about these characters. You really want them to live. They're very likable. They're very fun. They're very entertaining. Just likable, normal folks, which is, I know, hard to do. Wonderfully scored by Charles Bernstein. This is the same guy who did... He did the Nightmare on Elm Street, right? I believe he's the guy who did Nightmare on Elm Street. Yep, the first Nightmare on Elm Street. The very first Nightmare on Elm Street. He had a hand in Cujo, The Entity, Deadly Friend, Excessive Force. He's definitely had a hand. Some of his tracks appeared in Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill and Inglourious Bastards. His famous one is probably the first Nightmare on Elm Street. And actually, this film was made in Canada, weirdly enough. Even though I think most of the cast is American, this was made in Canada. I have to, if I want to talk about this film, I have to give spoilers. I have to. So right off the bat, there's going to be spoilers from now on. But I enjoy this film for its cast. I think they're just normal, likable people. I think you have some fun dialogue. Really creepy score by Charles Bernstein. Sort of that whistle. I can't do it right. I can't do it justice. Very wonderful, creepy, atmospheric score. I love to have my hands on that score. Just, I can't even do it justice. I think it's well directed by Fred Walton. And again, it's becoming more of a mystery. And then the ending is a lot of fun. Which I gotta get into spoilers. Starting right now. The ending is another reason why I love this film. Because, of course, if you've seen this film, the title told you, in a way, what it was. You find out that the whole thing was pretty much fake, if you want to call it that. That Muffy had put all this stuff together because she's going to open this place on this island. She's going to be inherited but only if she could keep it in business, making money and stuff. So she's going to have this business where people are going to knowingly come in for a whodunit sort of mystery theater weekend. And there's just she even admits this was sort of the first test, and it's not people A are going to know firsthand that they're going for that, and B that it's not going to be as extreme. And the ending really loved it. I really love the ending. I know there's an alternate ending that was shot. Apparently, it was shot where you find out that her cousin is really her brother, the Stip character. He goes crazy, tries to kill Muffy in actuality, and then himself gets killed. And I believe this shot is from that scene. And it's I believe it is. I could be wrong, but I believe this is. I remember hearing about that. And why is that not on the DVD? Why are there not features on DVD? Again, I could be absolutely wrong. That would be nice to have a DVD worth of shit. But getting more into the film, I know I'm going all over the place, but I really enjoy this film. You have a video camera where you're on the character Nikki, and this is what I'm talking about. You get this sort of fun vibe where she says all these very nice things of what she's going to do, and then she goes something to the effect of, and I fuck on the first date. And then it turns to Thomas F. Wilson, Biff, and this other guy, the Skip character, and Thomas F. Wilson's like, yeah, sure, I'd fuck her on the first date. There's a lot of fun with these characters. Clayton Rohner, he's this character who has this video camera and tosses this guy and looks down and goes, your fly's open and your host, what was it? Hey guy, your fly's open, your hostess Twinkie is showing. It's hanging out. That's what it was. I want to get the word right. Hey guy, your fly's open, your hostess Twinkie is hanging out. I thought that was really funny. I know I screwed up the line, but it's hard to remember exact lines of dialogue. Especially I saw a couple of films today. And each one of these characters, Amy Steele is very strong, likable lead. Ken Olandt, you get a little backstory that he was going to get maybe a chance to go to medical school and he can't do that. Thomas F. Wilson, he's very funny and joking. So is Clayton Rohner. As they're going to the island, Ken Olandt, like Clayton Rohner's doing this to everyone, and Ken Olandt, his fly is actually open, and so he doesn't believe Clayton Rohner, and then looks down, and then sort of zips himself up, and you get really fun vibe that these guys actually knew each other, they were actually friends. You have a good chemistry with each other. They have a good fun back and forth with each other. It's a lot of fun. And then Thomas Wilson, the Skip character, they're playing with this knife. And I like how all the characters, like even in the scene, you get like little conversations that they're having, and it's building characters. It's building these characters up, and each one has their own little personality to it. They have their own shtick to it. They can stand out. You know, Clayton Rohner has these glasses on. He has a video camera. Thomas S. Wilson, he's like a fun version, less asshole version of Biff from Back to the Future. Like, if I saw Thomas S. Wilson, I know everyone asks about Back to the Future, I would ask him about this movie, to be honest. And they play a prank on the folks where Thomas S. Wilson throws a knife and gets in the guy, falls down, then you find out it was a gag. But then another guy goes in, he's like, no, I'll stay out here and tie the ropes up. But then you get an idea he gets hit, and he has his face all fucked up. And right off the bat, they're not joking about it. They're feeling bad. Even though, if you think about it, the guy said he was going to stay out there. You know, it's not like they pushed him in there. They made him fall in there right at that crack, right at that moment. But they still feel bad about it. So the Skip character, since it was his dad, he's drinking, he's feeling bad about it. The other kids try to deal with it. They were having dinner, and again, you have some fun pranks that happen. Like Thomas S. Wilson sits in a chair and falls down. They have these glasses and they try to drink and it dribbles on them. One guy, the southern guy, Harv, he takes some cigars and it blows up in his face. Or they try a doorknob and it pulls off. Amy Steele and Ken Olandt, they try to go to bed and Ken Olandt turns the light off and then turns his light on. When he turns that off, another light turns on. And they do a fun job. They're entertaining to watch. I think it has this fun vibe to it. You laugh with the characters, not at the characters. Before that, they were having fun. For example, I guess you call this sort of slutty girl, which I know this film, people complain it doesn't have tits, it doesn't have gore, but I think that's what made it different. That's what made it stand out, which I'll get to. And I'll try not to make this review a fucking 20-hour, 1-hour review. But you really get to know these characters, and you really want them to live. You care about them. Holy shit, you actually care about characters. Wow. And you have little character moments. For instance, that girl Nikki, she's reading this magazine, and like she says something like, "What would you like to try? A, oral, B, anal, C, something, D, lesbian, E, something, F, all the above." And Amy says like, "What was C?" Like the way she pulled it off, it made me laugh. And then you have another scene with Thomas F. Wilson, who's like trying to talk all, I don't know what he was trying to talk like, but I don't know, stuck up was like, "Hey, welcome. This is Lifestyles of the Rich and Underserved. The rich and undeserving. Actually, my name is Arch, and my plan is to bed every woman that I can find." Like he says something like that. It's hard to recreate comedy bits when, it'd be much nicer to just show the footage, but that's what YouTube limits you to. Some people get away with it, but, you know. And they also start finding weird stuff. Like one person finds these weird newspaper clippings. Another person finds this bondage type stuff. Thomas F. Wilson finds some like drugs in the cabinet. One woman, the Nan character, she hears a baby crying, and there's a tape. And even that moment there, it's a nice little character moment because she confronts the hostess, Deborah Foreman, and says, "What, you think that's funny, this and that?" And you get an idea. It's not told forthright, but you get an idea from her reactions that maybe she had an abortion. So even that comes into play at the end of the movie. And that's what I mean. I think the script is better written than people give it credit for. And the script was by Danilo Bach, which he's credited with Beverly Hills Cop. Now, granted, I've heard that Beverly Hills Cop got a lot of improv during filming, so who knows how much of it was his stuff left in. He's also credited with Someone to Watch Over Me, Beverly Hills Cop 3, well, uncredited on The Beast Within. I thought he did a good job with this, though. I thought he did a great job with the script. And that's what I mean. You did really good character moments, and one of them, the Skip character, goes out, he gets taken, and the next day, they don't know where he's at, and before that, they don't know when everything's going on. I mean, you get sort of fun bonding with the characters, like some of them they're having fun playing soccer, and I can relate to these people. I can see me and my friends sort of doing the same type of back and forth that's natural. It doesn't seem forced. I don't think it's bad acting. I think it's a really good cast. Really helps this film. And again, a very exceptional, creepy score by Charles Bernstein with just an extremely creepy whistle. I can't do it right. Shit. One thing leads to another. Amy Steele and her boyfriend find something underneath these floorboards, a body. They try to figure out what to do. They try to call. They can't reach anyone. Of course, they're stuck on the island, so they can't really go anywhere. They start noticing that their host, Deborah Foreman's acting a little bit weird. People get pretty much disappear one by one. Like for example, Thomas F. Wilson, he's in the woods and a snare grabs his leg and he's hung upside down. Or another where these two are looking at a well and one foot is going down because they're going to fetch some water. They trip down there and they find some body parts in the well. And then pretty much try to figure out what to do next. So they finally reach sort of, I guess you'd call him the cop, sort of, I forget what a porter? Was that what it was? God, I forget what the term was. I forget what it was his name. I'll just call him pretty much the policeman, the cop, so to speak. And they're not sure. They're thinking maybe, you know, that guy who got hurt and got his face fucked up, maybe it's him, or maybe his friends that are trying to fuck with them and trying to kill them one by one. They try to stick together. But this sort of, again, unravels like a mystery as each person gets knocked off one by one. And again, you don't see blood, you don't see titties, but the reason you don't see blood is it makes sense when you think of the ending. And I just like the way the mystery aspect is done. I think the director did a good job suspense-wise. Even little stuff when Amy Steele and Ken Olandt go in the attic and they find these dolls. And like some of the dolls are recreated like the kills. And you get an idea that, oh my god, there's a twin sister. Perhaps there's a twin sister. Maybe that's why, you know, the next day she's all acting all weird and, oh shit, it's not Muffy, it's Buffy, the twin sister. Or earlier in the film, they saw these moving eyes behind a painting, and it's pretty much Felix the Cat, but they had to paint it orange, probably for copyright. They find that painting again upstairs, but they put it down, and it's a head behind the painting. So yeah, it's sort of like a 10 Little Indians or Agatha Christie sort of mystery wrapped up, and that got me interested. That was an interesting little story. And then it has a very fun ending where they find out that pretty much everyone was a victim. Well, they're trying to find the keys to the boat. Deborah Foreman chases Amy Steele into this room, and that's where everyone's there, and they go April Fools. And pretty much no one knew about this except Deborah Foreman and a couple others. And then when each one was killed, then they were brought into it. But before that, they didn't have any idea. And they even say, you know, it could have been dangerous, you could have gotten yourself killed, this and that. So at least they actually mention that. And I love the ending. I think it's one of the most original endings to a slasher film. Clever endings. And to be honest, if you look at the title of this movie, it made sense. I'm sure because the poster said from the producer. And that's the other thing. It was Paramount, and it was produced by Frank Mancuso Jr., who produced Friday the 13th films. I think people were just expecting another bloody, run-of-the-mill slasher film, and they got a film that I thought built up characters, has a really great cast, has a very creepy score. I think it's well directed by Fred Walton. I like the sort of mystery aspect. I thought it was well handled. I thought the ending was just classic, and then you have fun stuff. Well, for example, Thomas F. Wilson. Man, you guys really scared me. I almost, crap my pants. And this other guy goes, almost? Arch. I was there. And then Clayton Roner's like, Arch? You browned your trousers? It's Thomas F. Wilson. Well, oh, don't worry, Arch. They'll be out of the dryer pretty shortly. And then then you have the makeup effects, and like I guess the guy who got hit at the beginning with his face, he's actually a makeup effects guy, I believe that was the case. So it was props, and again, for this thing that Deborah Foreman wants to do, which is this mystery whodunit weekend, and this was sort of a rough test run. And you have the song "Mama Told Me Not to Come Mama told me not to come. They're having fun with the disembodied prop heads, and it just makes me smile every time. Makes me smile, and even when I've watched this countless times, I can just wipe my mind clean and watch it again. I can only imagine how it must have been watching this for the very, very first time to not know that ending was coming. I think people got pissed and they're like, "Well, there's no blood." And of course, there's no blood. If you saw a lot of blood, it wouldn't make sense it was fake. And I think it did a decent enough job when you watch it again a second time. Like, oh, okay, that's why. That's why. And even at the end, they mentioned, it could have been dangerous, this and that, and they talk about it. And then I was talking about that girl who, the abortion thing. She even mentions, yes, some of the clues were a little bit too much. Well, that girl gets her revenge because Deborah Foreman, after the party, is in her room, has a jack-in-the-box, and that girl comes up and you think slits her throat, but is one of those fake, like, trick razors with fake blood. And, she got sort of her revenge, so to speak. It's like, you put this in about my abortion, and so, it was, I think that was fair, revenge. And Deborah Foreman looks at her, and Nan goes, like, kissers like April Fools, and when looks at her, give her that look. It's like, hey, you deserved it, Deborah Foreman, you deserved it. That was pushing it over. You deserved that, being scared like that. And then the last shot pretty much sums the film. It's the Jack in the Box, a push in, and it winks with that creepy music, that creepy whistle. And then you have that song like, too bad you're crazy, too bad you're loony as hell. Just makes me smile. I know it says here, the novelization features the notorious ending in which Skip sneaks back onto the island after everyone is left to kill Muffy for her share of the family money, though he fails and winds up dead himself. The ending has never been released, but stills of it have surfaced. A revised draft of the script included another version of the above-mentioned ending, in which Skip sneaks back onto the island to slay Muffy. He springs out of a closet and slits her throat. At first she panics, but realizes it's a joke when she sees her friends standing around. Script then states that Skip stays on the island to help Muffy with the bed and breakfast. So I guess one ending was, which I'm glad they did not go with that ending. It'd be nice to see out of curiosity, but it's nice they didn't go with that because to me it didn't really make sense to go with that other ending that they were talking about right there. But again, I would like to see Shout Factory, Scream Factory take a look at this and get interviews with the actors, Clayton Rohner, Amy Steele. I'm sure everyone always talks to her about Friday the 13th Part 2. I like to ask her about April Fool's Day. Same with Thomas F. Wilson. Same with Fred Walton. Fred Walton, dude, you have no reason to apologize on that documentary. It seemed like they were pushing to say, oh, no. This is a good fucking flick. And that's what I mean. I know it's weird saying it's my favorite slasher film, because really, it's not a slasher movie. So, I guess if you call it a horror movie, it'd be... Some people say, well, it's not a good horror movie. Well, if it's not a good horror movie, it's a good movie, period. If it's not a good horror film, then it's a good story, period. I mean, I'm sorry, it has a very inventive, original ending. It has fun jokes with a very likable, talented cast of likable, normal characters. I know my stomach's agreeing with me there. Fun dialogue. I think it's well written. I think the pacing is fine. It's under 90 minutes. Very creepy story by Charles Bernstein, who did A Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one. Hey, you like the people in the movie. You care about them. You have fun hanging out with these people. I think you have certain scenes that are well done suspense-wise, and the music fits it to a T. I would love, if there was a CD to this, I would love to have it. I love it. And I don't know what more I can say. I know I'm gone for 30 minutes, which wasn't my intention, but Good cast, good story, good mystery, good score, good fucking movie. Very underrated, deserves its shine in the spotlight. Again, I hope a good DVD, Blu-ray. I hope Scream Factory, Shout Factory gets a hold of this one day, or someone gives it some worthwhile features and a worthwhile cover. That's just my opinion. Anyway, that's my little review of April Fool's Day. And happy April Fool's Day. I know I was stumbling around. I was so used to doing really short, like 10, 15-minute reviews. Now that I have all the time in the world, I'm sort of a newbie. So I was sort of stumbling over, not saying fucking lines right. And not much of being funny or entertaining. But I will say, hope you enjoy the review. Thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.